HDFC Asset Management Company made a stellar debut on the bourses today. Shares of the asset manager surged over 65% on listing. It's up almost over 1,800. Bloomberg Quint Yatin Mota caught up with Milind Barve, managing director of the company, to find out of the company's growth plans, trends in the mutual fund industry, and more. Here's a slice of the entire conversation.
I think what this industry has seen consistently over the last many years now, at least 4 years clearly, has been a distinct change in the way retail investors are behaving in terms of their financial saving habits. Right. First, there's a shift from physical to financial. Within that, people within financial assets are choosing more about products like mutual funds and insurance in addition to bank deposit. So I think there has been this behavioral change, and that's opened up a huge pool of higher sort of savings pool that is now being available now, and that is finding its way into mutual fund products. And I think it's a very good trend, and I think the industry will continue to benefit from this.
Okay, sir, talking about the industry, what kind of trends are you looking at in the SIP or the systematic investment plans? And do you think India has been low penetrated versus other global peers in terms of the mutual fund industry?
Yeah.
So do you think SIP is that instrument probably which will aid the penetration?
Yes, I think SIP is emerged as a most powerful tool in the penetration of mutual funds, and in fact I would say the inclusion of people into financial sort of savings. The SIP is an incredibly wonderful way. It's a very small ticket single investment. The average is as below 4,000. Okay. People are investing, mind you, for not just a couple of years, but people are committing money for 10 years and sometimes even longer than that. So I think the SIP has become, it's also a very simple way of investing. You're not committing a large amount. You're not timing the market. Right. It is more about developing a good habit to invest. And I think the industry is now collecting over 7,500 crores just from SIP every month. Okay. And that number is growing every month. Okay. So I think that has helped the industry to penetrate into newer markets, and it's also helped the industry to acquire new customers. Okay. Because the new customer is not committing a large amount. He's only committing to invest an average amount of 3,500 rupees per month for a number of months in the future.
Okay. And sir, talking about the 7,500 crore monthly inflow that you were talking about, if you could tell us what kind of a market share does HDFC AMC have? And in terms of the mix, if you could tell us how really is the mix shaping up for HDFC AMC in terms of equity, SIP, debt, funds? If you could just give us a breakup on all these fronts.
So the market share in SIP is not published, so one can't. We hope that we are amongst the leaders in the systematic investing business.
Okay. But in terms of
if you look at the AUM of the industry, which is the most important way to look at it, we are the two things. We have about half or 51% of our AUM, which is in equity-oriented products. Okay. So that's firstly very important, and we have the #1 market share in equity assets under management. Okay. That makes us the leader in equity managing. In fact, we are, I think, the country's second largest institutional investors, second to LIC, of course.
Okay. And sir, one final question in terms of the overall, product mix, overall growth prospects. Do you think the kind of run rate that the industry has seen in the past few months, especially after demonetization, that kind of run rate for the mutual fund industry would, probably continue? I don't know the guidance, but in terms of the growth rates, in terms of the opportunity for companies like HDFC AMC, do you think this is a sustainable, growth path in the next, 5 to 6 years?
Well, I've been in this business for many years now, and I recall for years till 2013-14, if we collected as an industry 15 or 18,000 crores in a year, we said this was a good year. Okay. And now we are collecting 10, 11,000, 14,000, somewhere in that region per month. And that's the kind of run rate that we are currently looking at. So I think it's a complete change in the way, as I mentioned earlier, that the level of flows that we are reaching. And I think this is just in some sense the beginning of people understanding mutual fund products and then having acceptance of the products going forward.